Welcome to Retro Video Playback and episode 26 of Tape Talk Tuesday. This week I've got a classic to take a look at, now the oldest movie featured on Tape Talk Tuesday, beating out Rear Window by just 3 months. Originally released in May 1954, this is Dial M for Murder on VHS. One of my favorite Alfred Hitchcock movies and starring my favorite Hitchcock blonde, Grace Kelly, Dial M for Murder has received a few different releases on VHS. This copy is from 1987 and is my favorite of the different covers available. In addition to the fact that the title of the movie has murder in it, the cover throws you into the thrill of the movie. The image at the top of the cover is, at first, not entirely clear, but as you fixate on it, it does become clear that it's a man atop a woman who's reaching out for a telephone, apparently in distress. As you watch the movie, this image makes more sense. It does almost look like a couple getting intimate, but below the image is bold purple letters and quotations for the title of the movie, Dial M for Murder, which should remove any doubt to what is happening above. It's an eye-catching cover, not too flashy, but enough to draw your attention and pique your interest. As I noted, it's had a few different VHS covers, and this one is by far my favorite of the bunch. The others are pretty typical VHS covers with a simple shot from the movie serving as the primary artwork, with some makeshift graphics around the image, which I'm never fond of. This one isn't too bad, with a shot of Grace Kelly on the telephone surrounded by darkness, but it's nothing to write home about. The top, I hate when movies do this, doesn't contain the movie title. So if you stack your tapes on the shelf, which I have at times to save space, you can't see the movie's title. Instead, we get just a WB logo and Warner Home Video written out. The left spine has the same WB logo, the movie title, and a still from the movie featuring Grace Kelly and Ray Milland. Below the still are the VHS number, color identification, movie runtime, and VHS logo. The right spine is the same, but in place of the movie still is a barcode. The backside starts with, a conniving husband discovers a hitch in the perfect crime. Hitch, of course, a play on Hitchcock. We then get a larger version of the still we saw on the left spine, this time including Robert Cummings. Then taking up the majority of the back of the box is a relatively long write-up. Dial M for the master of suspense, Alfred Hitchcock. The subject is this: Sir Alfred's 39th film is, of course, murder. And the much emulated director labored over the subject with his customary precision, demanding the best. "This is nicely done," he commented while rejecting rushes of the film's murder scene, a scene in which scissors become a deadly weapon. But there wasn't enough gleam to the scissors, and a murder without gleaming scissors is like asparagus without the hollandaise sauce. Tasteless. Dial M for Murder's story. A very tasty blend indeed of elegance, excitement, and suspense, adapted from Frederick Knott's stage hit. Stars Grace Kelly, Ray Milland, and Robert Cummings in a triangle of passion and greed. Kelly has fallen in love with Cummings. Milland, her husband, plots her murder. But when Milland dials a Mayfair exchange to set the plan in motion, his right number gets the wrong answer, and you get to sit back and watch the whole scheme unravel in the most unexpected ways. Honored in 1974 by New York's Film Society of Lincoln Center, Hitchcock spoke drolly to the gathering. The subject again, murder. After his speech, he returned to his seat, then said, "As you see, the best way to do it is with scissors," referring at once to Dial M's weapon, and to the artful editing that's a hallmark of his films. With scissors. Gleaming scissors. So that's how it's done. Funny no one could ever do it as well. When you watch Dial M for Murder, you'll discover why. I'm having a hard time expressing how I feel about this write-up, so I'll keep it simple. I don't like it. It feels overindulgent, excessive, and like someone was simply told, write until you've filled the entire back cover. After the write-up, in the bottom third to a quarter is an FBI warning and various miscellaneous information. So a relatively plain and boring backside, if I'm honest. The tape has a rather large paper label, larger than its allotted space permits, so it awkwardly encroaches on other parts of the tape. I've seen this type of large label on a couple of movies, and it doesn't make sense to me, looking awkward and sloppy. Next to the main label is a tacked-on rating sticker for the Canadian province of Quebec. If you're not familiar, Quebec tends to like to do things differently than the rest of the country, so this sticker with additional specific information is, I guess, necessary. On the spine of the tape is another paper label, this time fitting into its designated space. In most cases with collecting, and in particular with VHS, if you look long enough, the odds of finding what you're looking for at a thrift store or on a buy and sell site increase. But then again, some things are just less common, and you very well may never find what it is you're looking for. Frankly, it's all luck, good or bad. Last summer, I was in a different city, hitting some thrift stores, when at the back of a quiet Salvation Army thrift store, I found this copy of The Birds, which I'd say has a similar rarity to Dial M for Murder. So it is possible to find these less common tapes, it's just a matter of perfect timing, luck, and happenstance, the right place at the right time. With Dial M for Murder and the fact that it's one of my favorite Hitchcock movies, I wanted it in my collection. I gave it some time, hoping I would stumble across the tape on one of my frequent thrift store visits, but the day has yet to come. So instead, I recently made the decision to buy this tape on eBay, paying $29.97 Canadian for it, over $17 of which was the shipping cost. I know from frequenting the VHS subreddit, among other places, that many VHS collectors are unwilling to spend more than just a few bucks or $1 on a VHS tape. At the same time, you've got collectors out there willing to spend hundreds on ultra rare tapes they must have in their collection. I'm somewhere in the middle. I don't take a principled stance like some collectors, where I refuse to spend more than $3, $5, or however many dollars, but I do limit myself. The value of VHS tapes, and any collectibles on the resale market, is all entirely subjective. Dial M for Murder was worth $30 to me, but to other collectors it may be entirely valueless. You wouldn't pay $2 for it. What means something to me, and has value to me, may mean less than nothing to someone else. What we can say for the fact of the matter is that it's clear there's a market for expensive VHS tapes. Just search sold items on eBay and you'll see it's happening all the time. Is anyone buying the supposedly rare, though obviously not rare, Black Diamond Disney tapes at astronomical prices? I mean, maybe? For the most part, I assume not. But someone is buying that obscure 70s horror movie, that screener version of a 90s cult classic, or an 80s print of a Hitchcock favorite, and they're paying more than someone else thinks it's worth. Sure, some prices have been inflated due to reselling, but what it comes down to is what is the value to you, and what will you pay to have it in your collection? With that, we find ourselves at the end of our discussion of Dial M for Murder on VHS, and the end of episode 26 of Tape Talk Tuesday. Thanks for watching Retro Video Playback.